Right, and we are live. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm Stuart from NetReady, and this is MLM for CEOs, the channel that is aimed at providing key insights to company owners operating within this lucrative multi-level marketing space. In today's episode, we're going to be speaking about your call center support staff that you need to be implementing to grow your business. And here to unpack that information for us is a man with over 35 years experience within the multi-level marketing industry. He is also regarded as an authority within the space. He's a good friend and mentor of mine. I want to introduce to you Mr. Richard Sletcher.
So I'm so well introduced over the last few months.
Yeah. I love doing these sessions.
Yeah,
Richard.
nice.
It really is awesome. And I hope that we are providing some, as I said before, these key insights into this industry. It is so lucrative when you understand how to operate within it and how to get the pieces in place. Because we've seen this with our clients. When they get it right, it is a license to print money.
Well, look, there's that side of it, and certainly that is super exciting. But what switches me on is the fact that, take South Africa at the moment, we've got 12.5 million unemployed people. And this is a wonderful way for people to get into a micro business and set themselves financially free.
Oh.
And I can tell you right now, with the way that AI is going and the advent of things like the new Tesla Optimus bot and full self-driving cars, etc., the unemployment problem is going to become pervasive around the world. And so for me, the MLM space is not just a way to print money, and it is. I mean, the clients of ours, one of our clients said to me the other day, I used to have poor person's problems, I now have rich person's problems. And that's within 12 months. He started in 12 months down the road. He's doing 25 million Rand a month turnover. He's absolutely printing cash. But what's even more important is he paid out 12.5 million Rand in commissions.
That's amazing.
So he's making money for himself, but he's got a whole host of people that are actually putting a roof over their head and food on the table through this industry. So
yeah.
So I think it's not just a case of I can print money. It's a case of, hey, I can change people's lives. I can change the world.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. That's why I'm so passionate about the MLM space.
No, I can see it. We actually did an episode on the future of network marketing in one of our previous episodes. It's awesome. And it kind of goes through all of that stuff. So guys out there,
let's not get onto it again.
Exactly. So what are we here to talk about is our support staff, the call center support that is the backbone of our customer service, our distributor service, and actually helping our people understand if they have issues with the various elements of their business. Yeah. Now, how important is it to have this support staff structure in your business?
Well, look, it's critically important. I mean, you've got to have support because people need to be able to get help. And this also peels back to training. I think one of our previous episodes, we did a thing on training.
Yes, we did.
I think it was our last episode, we did something on training.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing again. You have to teach your people how to interact with your support staff. But it's key that you have a support team that can actually react to queries from the network. It's also key that you train your people to deal with queries that are not support related. Okay, so I'll give you two examples. Acorn Kids, which is a company I ran, and we've got another company. I won't give their name out because I don't want to diss them. Acorn Kids had around 10,000 agents. We had 3 support people. So we had 3 people to deal with everything related to 10,000 people. We got another company. They've got literally an army of support people. They must have 50 people in the support center dealing with queries. Now, fundamentally, let's just talk about what the difference is. At Acorn Kids, we made sure a couple of things. First of all, we made sure our people were properly trained. So when I recruited you, I understood how to teach you about the compensation plan, how to teach you about the products, what was in the products, what was good about the products, what was bad about the products, the contraindications. I knew everything and I could teach you. So when somebody called the call center and they wanted to know about the compensation plan, our call center was trained to say to them, okay, your upline, you say you called in, your upline is Richard, this is his number, you need to give Richard a call. And Richard was responsible for teaching you about the compensation plan. If I needed to know about the products, the call center was trained to say, hey, Richard's your upline, you need to talk to him about the products and you can find information on the website about the products here. So what we did is we taught our people to deal with all of the issues related to their team. So the leaders knew how to deal with their team. The person had a problem with their commissions. We had two scenarios. One, if you think your commissions are wrong, what you do is you pay an amount of money into our system, and we will audit your commissions for you and give you an audited report. So it costs you X hundred rands to get an audit report. Or you can speak to your upline and they can work through the commissions with you. Now, it's amazing how few queries we got about the compensation plan once we put that in place.
Right.
Now, there are things that the upline cannot help you with, and that's where your support center comes in. My product didn't arrive.
Sure.
Or I got my product and there was missing stuff in the product. I ordered X, Y, and Z, and I only got X and Y. Z was missing.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, that's where your call center comes into play.
Even technical queries on the system and whatever else.
Well, no, again, we trained our network to teach people how to use the system. I can't find my commissions in my back office.
Right.
We would teach our people, our support person, to say, okay, that you need to talk to Richard about. There's his telephone number. Give him a call. He will help you with training you around the system.
Yeah.
Now, fundamentally, in order to do that, I had to train the people on all of that knowledge. I had to train each leader on that knowledge and get them to train their people.
Because method of duplication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't learn anything better than by teaching it to somebody.
Sure.
That's when you get to know it really, really well. Yeah. So I teach my leaders to teach their people, to teach their people, to teach their people, etc. And there was a knock-on effect down there. As a result, I was able to run a team of 10,000 people with a support team of 3. Now, obviously, there's another side to this. When we said we'd deliver, we delivered. We made damn sure that what was supposed to be in the package was in the package. It was in the sort of early days of online buying and internet and all of that. And so our systems were very manual. But what we would do is we'd get our ladies to line up all of the products that they were packing in the box, and we'd take a photograph of them. We'd print the photograph out on a form, which the lady would sign with a personal note that would go into the box.
Yeah.
As a result, we didn't get queries about the orders because Tembela or Theodora or whatever was actually smiley face, thank you for your order. These are all the products. There's a photograph of all the products. There's a record of what we put in. So nobody lied to us. Because before we did that, people would say, well, we didn't get 3 things.
Yeah.
We had no way of proving whether they got them or not. And we'd have to ship the 3 things out. And so I said to people over the years, there was 1,000 times where people got short-changed on their orders. Not once did we ever get a report that we put too much stuff in. Not once. So, so in terms of your support, your first line of support should be your upline. Now, I'm talked about that other company. They've got this army of people. But why? Their products don't arrive on time. They're not packing correctly. So they pack the products and they've got people literally sitting on the floors putting stuff into boxes and then not knowing what's in that box, and the orders are wrong. So they get thousands of queries. Then commission time comes and they don't pay their commissions out on time. And so they get thousands of queries, where's my commission? And they're answering all of these queries all the time. And then they haven't trained their people. They've got no leadership within the organization. So the people are not trained, so the entire weight falls onto their support system.
Yeah.
So they've had to scale up their support system to the nth degree to deal with all of the issues that they're creating in the very first place. So in terms of support, the first thing is you need to do what you do well. Then you need to train your network to answer 90% of the queries that are network related. And then what you deal with is you deal with this thin slice of problems that come because they are unavoidable, i.e. literally a package fell off the back of the bus, or the guys threw the package in the warehouse and it exploded and your product went all over the place, or those kind of issues which can be dealt with. And then you need a very small team. You don't need a big team if you do the training right.
I mean, we've seen it now, through this Ignition Plus model that we've got going with our clients. Our clients aren't teaching the people enough about speak to your upline or the systems or and so on, that they're coming to the support team. And as such, we need to scale up our support staff, and we bringing on 3 support staff each month to keep up with the volume of tickets that are coming in. And that's not right, because our clients need to be, the company owners need to be focusing on educating their people, and it's a top-down approach. Teach the leaders and filter down through duplication.
But I need to throw that ball into our laps, because the reason they're not teaching their people is because we're not insisting that they teach their people. So the way that we at Acorn Kids, the way that I got the leadership to teach their people is that I just funneled all of the queries through to the network.
Yeah.
So you don't understand how the compensation plan works? Talk to your upline.
Yeah.
And so people got into the habit of learning that their upline was their first port of call. And if their upline didn't actually understand it, they needed to go to that person's upline.
Exactly.
They keep on going up the track until they get to somebody.
Yeah.
And that person will get sick and tired of telling everybody about the same thing and teach their people properly. And so you need to really look at your network. You are paying them. The leadership is getting paid a commission to lead the team. They should be the first line of support in your business. And again, that comes back to what we talked about the other day, which is training.
Sure. And then when establishing the business, how many support staff should I be thinking of setting up? Is it just getting someone on board to manage the first influx of tickets that come in? Or is it 5 people? Is it 10? Is it an army of people?
No, you just need one person.
Okay.
You scale as you go.
Yeah.
And you don't need rocket scientists.
Right.
Your support is about, your support should be about, my product didn't arrive, my order is wrong, simple things that can happen. I paid and then there wasn't any record of my payment or whatever, those kind of things. A prime example is people putting money into your bank account. So they pay you cash.
Yeah.
Then they put the money into the bank account and their reference is my order. There's 100,000 people putting money into your bank account. How do you work out who my order belongs to? And eventually that person is going to phone up and say,
yes,
I haven't got my order. And then you can say, well, what did you put as your reference? Did you use your... And then they're going to say, no, I said my order. And then you can go and track down that order. And so that's where your support person comes in. So I think that, the average company should only have one support person to start with, and see how it goes.
Sure.
And then ramp up as the demand goes. And if they find they're having to ramp up too hard, I promise you it's because they're not putting the effort into the training.
Exactly.
And then they need to say, look, do I spend shed loads of money on support or do I spend a little bit of money on training?
Yeah.
And you're better off to get one trainer whose whole job is to go around and teach the leadership how to whatever and how to support their network properly. And then you take the pressure off here. The cost is going to be much less to have a trainer than to have an army of support people.
Yeah. What sort of office resources do we need to be providing to these support staff members?
Well, the first thing is you need a system. You need a customer relations management system, and you need something that's integrated properly with the rest of your system. NetReady has built a CRM system into our foundational system. It's got a very slick, very sophisticated CRM system, because what you want is you want the person to be in that CRM system and to be able to access all the information really quickly. You got an order. What is the order number? They need to be able to type it in and access it right there. So you want to be able to access all of that information. You want to have a knowledge base that you can just copy the answers, paste them in, because you want to be as efficient as possible. You want to answer those questions as quickly as possible. You don't want to be sitting half an hour on a problem, digging in this system and then digging in that system and trying to find out where the thing is. You want to be able to consolidate all of that information in a single system and access it. So in terms of the tools, you need a proper system that allows you to run a customer relations management operation, a support team properly. Obviously, the person needs a reliable computer in front of them, and I would recommend giving them 2 screens so that they can have all of the information up when they're responding, because again, you want them to be efficient. You need to have some form of communication mechanism. We use voice over IP, and we use an in-ear monitor, what you call them, earbuds. which the guys put in their ears, and they can then talk to their client if they need to. And then we try and focus on one touch support policy.
Yeah.
So in other words, when you give me a ticket, it needs to be a one-touch solution. I need to be able to respond to you and answer that question and deal with it and get it off my desk in one touch if possible.
Yeah.
And so that becomes the key rider there. If the person hasn't given you enough money, if the person hasn't given you enough information,
Nice.
Freudian slip there. If they haven't given you enough information, then you get on the phone to them and say, look, I don't understand this and this and this. They give you the information, you update the ticket, and you say to them, look, next time you log a ticket, please give me all of this information so I can answer the ticket quickly. So again,
Right.
there's a training element there.
Yep.
And then you respond to that ticket and you say, okay, I'm going to put my response in the ticket and respond to you right now.
Yeah.
And you respond to the ticket and try and get that ticket answered in a single interaction.
I know what's worked very well with that scenario, especially when the support staff are starting out, is to have there's general questions that our support staff get asked, and we have a template response to that, and there's minor adjustments that they need to make, but it makes the response to that one touch way more efficient, way more. It's a shorter time to respond to them just because you've got that template laid out already, and you can put it in, change a couple of details in.
Yeah, so the beauty of our system is that you can go into the knowledge base, you look up the answer, and then you click on the answer, and it fills in all of the information for you. So it's, hi, Stuart.
Yes.
Thanks for contacting us. This is the answer, and the only thing you would have to do is click on the order form, which will then update the order form number that you're dealing with.
Right.
And you click send. So you can answer the question extremely quickly in that process. The guys can bang out an answer in seconds because everything is available to them to just push through to the ticketing system and push out.
Okay. Richard, I think that comes to the end of the episode.
Wow.
I think
You're joking.
we covered everything that we needed to.
Yeah.
I hope that we drove the fact home that having a support staff structure is essential to running the business, but that you don't need to scale at the same rate as which your network scales. It's a method of teaching and training your people how to do the business without having to rely on support staff. That is the absolute key. So that you don't spend all this money on creating an army of support people. Have an army of people that understand how this business works.
Yeah, and I mean, just to close off on that, the issue here is that if you teach your network properly, you don't need support. If you are efficient at delivering and fulfilling orders, you don't need a big support team. If your commission and compensation plan element is right, you don't need a support team. If you've got very, very good back-end tools that tell a person how much they've earned and give them the ability to look through their own commissions and audit their own commissions, you do away with needing a big support team. So the more effort you put into doing the business right and training your people properly, the less support people you need. You will always need some, but that ratio should be very, very low. You should need one person for every 10,000 people if you are running your business properly. And I promise you, if you're needing too many support people, it's because you're not running your business properly.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
That was good.
We appreciate it. Thanks to everyone else out there that's been joining us. Please follow us on our social media channels, both Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find us at NetReady. You also go onto our YouTube channel, which is also called NetReady. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications each time we upload exciting content just like this. And if you're sitting in the car in the traffic, listen to us through the radio on Spotify. Thank you so much for your time. See you next episode. Cheers.